On guys, back at you again, and we're gonna go right through these picks. I'm gonna go right through it, and got a shortage of time nowadays, but let's do the best we can. It's kind of out of order because I use another website to do the picks initially for Patreon, so just bear with me. So first game, Buccaneers Falcons. I got the Falcons winning that game. If you want the covers, go to Patreon. All right, next. And if you're on Patreon, the guys that are on Patreon, those numbers are glaring where the money is this week. And we've been following the money and going against it all year, and it's been helping tremendously. Like, I believe we're well over 72% win percentage on the covers. So that's anything over 50% is good, honestly, because you just never know. But we have a good system, I think. All right, next, we got the Jets, Vikings. I got Minnesota winning, but I don't feel good about that. And my Patreon guys know why I don't feel good about it based on where the money is. But honestly, don't question the Jets, guys. If the Jets win this game, don't be surprised because Aaron Rodgers, it's a long year, guys. It's a very long year. They took that bad loss. They should have beat the Broncos. People are going to look down on them. So, and the Vikings have looked so good that it's almost impossible to not pick the Vikings. That's why I'm almost thinking the Jets are going to win this game, guys. It's a Sunday night, or it's a Sunday morning game. Never mind. Those games are tricky. Those are tricky games. I'm going to actually just stick with the Vikings there. But then again, they're traveling. These games are usually like off site, I feel like. Let me look up where this game is. Where is the Jets Vikings game being played? Let's see.
New York Jets will take on Minnesota Vikings on Sunday at 9:30 a.m.
Where? I said, where is the game? At Vikings. It usually says the stadium. Oh, the venue, it says Northumberland Development Project. So I guess that's Minnesota. Nowhere special. They're just playing a morning game. Huh. I don't know what to make of this. The Vikings are 4-0. They'll be home. You know what? I think I'm going to go the other way because everyone's going to pick the Vikings. This is a tough pick for me because I really should be sticking with the Vikings. Because right now I'm going away from my formula and I'm doing what I never ever want to be doing. I'm going with my heart here when I really should be going with my head. My head is telling me Minnesota, but my heart is telling me that the Jets are just so counted out of this game that they can come out of here and win. So that's the only reason. It's not because I think they're a better team or better coach. Because across the board, Minnesota got the better coach. Quarterback, I don't know. We'll leave that aside. But running back, Minnesota got them. Actually, no, Brees Hall is pretty damn good. So you know what? That's a wash. We'll say quarterback, running back, wash. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson is probably the best in the league. And the Jets, they got Wilson, who's good. I'll give you that. Mike Williams, the jump ball guy. Allen Lazard. It's basically a basketball team on the Jets. Like they could match up well with the Vikings. That's why I'm like, maybe their tight end is not explosive. If they get an explosive tight end in New York with that offense, oh my goodness. But they're just missing a few pieces, the Jets, and they could be a good game. One being the coach and that their OC. They need a better head coach. They need a better OC that can fade Rodgers out and call the plays that need to be called at the time and tell Rodgers to kick rocks. They need an offensive coach that can do that, and there's only a few guys that can. Defense, they're fine. Special teams, they're fine, but O line, I don't know. They get injuries there a lot, and that's been their weak point. So we could say the Vikings probably have them there. D line, it's probably a wash. Linebackers, I want to say the Vikings, but that's probably a wash. And DBs, the Jets probably got them there. So this is actually a tight game if you look at it. So like people are thinking, oh, the Jets suck. Yeah, they had some tough breaks. Yeah, their record doesn't reflect what they should be, but they could win this game, and then they'll be 3-2, and the Vikings will only be 4-1. So it's not far fetched. So that's why I'm picking the Jets. I just wanted to give my thought process. So next, Panthers, Chicago. Panthers, since they've had The quarterback shift, they've looked a lot better, but I think their team is just. They're not really that bad. If you look at them, they actually have a decent O line. They just don't have a good quarterback. Dalton's okay. Bryce Young is horrible. So, I mean, you mix that together, it's not going to be good. Like, if you put, I don't know, you put Lamar behind this O line, the Panthers will be good. You know what I mean? Because Lamar is a beast. You put Mahomes on this team, he'll make it work. That's my point. They just need a guy that can ball out. And they just don't have that. But I mean, Dalton is a gamer. He has his moments, but he's, you know what I mean, he's pushing 40. He, like, his prime was a decade ago. So, I mean, you can't ask him to carry your team. Like, he's going to win games for you. He'll do what he can, but you know what I mean? He's over the hill almost. Like, he can win games, but he's not the 25-year-old Andy Dalton from the Bengals. And he'll be the first to tell you that. So I'm going to pick the Bears to win that one. Next, we got the Browns versus the Commanders. I don't know. This is a trap game almost. Everyone's so down on Deshaun Watson and so high up on the young kid over there that I'm almost going to be crazy enough to pick the Browns to win this game just because of that. Don't forget, guys, I don't go by who's better and who's worse. I go by the money. I go by news and where people's heads are at. And I usually go against all of that. So that's why I'm kind of thinking the Browns might get it done. But then again, I would have to look at the money again. But that only would determine the cover. So I can't go by that. You know what? Let me pull up the standings on the side. NFL standings. Because after week 5, you kind of got to look at...
The Bills are currently in first place in the AFC East.
Because literally, not that the records mean anything, but it kind of helps you like figure out who's going to win, lose. Because they like to... I've noticed in the newer NFL, they like to keep the records closer than normal, so it's close towards the end. So I'm going to see if there's a gap between teams. If there's a gap forming, it's most likely not going to happen as much. See these 1-3 teams. We got a bunch of 1-3 teams, guys. They're gonna let some of these 1-3 teams win this week, so they're 2-3. You know, so the league looks more balanced. So I see a lot of 1-3 teams winning this week. So we got Browns, Commanders. So the Commanders are 3-1, so they can sacrifice a loss and they'll still be in the lead of their division, right? And the Browns are 1-3. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Browns to win this one. Because I can't see the Browns going 1-4. They would be in too much of a deficit. I just keep in mind though, I did pick Washington to win outright first, but I'm thinking right now I talked myself out of it because it's gonna be too much of a spread on the records, and that's another reason why I'm kind of thinking back on the Chicago Bears pick. But then again, the Panthers are gonna suck. They're probably playing for a draft pick to get another quarterback. They would be stupid not to. Now they have their first round pick again. You don't have your guy, so then you have to try to go get your guy. And the way you get your guy is by losing. The Jaguars are losing out right now, but they're not going to draft a quarterback. You know, they paid $200 million for Trevor Lawrence. If anything, the coach is going to be gone. You know what I mean? And they'll just look for a guy that can coach him. Trevor Lawrence ain't going anywhere. You paid him too much. Whether he's trash or not, so far, yes, but that remains to be determined as far as they're concerned. All right, next we got Dolphins versus the Pats. These teams are both 1-3. Seems to me like the Dolphins are tanking this year. That's why they let Tua get injured so early. So that tells me they're letting new teams go into the playoffs in the AFC. So that tells me the Pats and the Dolphins are not making it most likely, and we're gonna have 2 new playoff teams. Well, 1 because the Pats didn't make it last year. So, this game, though, what did I write? I wrote down, let's see, I had Miami winning. So, I'm going to go with Miami winning. Because Tua is going to come back at some point, but it's going to be too late. I think he's going to be in too much of a hole to get his team out of. But they'll still be better than the Patriots. And they won't be bad enough to get a good draft pick, so they have to kind of, win. Unless they get to, let's say they get to a point where they're 1-8. Then they have a decision to make. Do we just keep Tua out for the rest of the year, draft his replacement, but still play out his contract. You know what I mean? Because I think he might. I forget. Don't quote me. I could be wrong. I forget if he has like a year or two left on his contract. So say you draft a rookie. If you're Miami, you say you lose out, you win a game or two. You draft a quarterback next year. You play with Tua one more year. But if Tua gets knocked out again, now you have your guy in there, and now you can ship Tua off or let him be the backup. You know what I mean? You won't have to pay the rookie quarterback anything. So, I don't think the Dolphins are sold on Tua as their franchise guy. He can win you games. He's not going to win the Super Bowl. That's ultimately what you play this game for. He's not marketable enough to win the Super Bowl for the NFL. It wouldn't even look good for the NFL for Miami to be the Super Bowl winners. All right, next we got the Colts, Jags. Based on this, I don't think the Jags are gonna go 0-5. Even though they're a terribly run organization, everything's going bad for them. But I did have the Colts. I actually have them winning over here. I'm going to pick the Colts to win. Let's go with what I wrote. I got the Colts winning, but I'm looking at the records. It's a long year, though. A lot of these teams could turn it around, too. So let's not put them all in the dumps. They added an extra game or two, right? So they extended the year for a reason. They want drama. All right, Bills, Texans. So the Bills are 3-1. Texans 3-1. So this is a big game. I'm gonna go with the Bills. Or no, excuse me, the Texans. Only because they'll be home. They have more weapons. Diggs playing his old team. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on there. I'm gonna pick Houston. I think Diggs will have a big game. He'll either have a big game or he'll be non-existent. That's how it goes with these games. You just never know. All right, now we got Ravens and Bengals divisional game. I could see the Bengals winning, getting on the 2-3, and the Ravens will be 2-3. I think this division is going to be one of those tight divisions where we don't know who's going to make it. It's going to come down to the last game. They're all going to be like 9-8 or whatever, 10-6. Like just not great, but only one team makes it. But who knows? It's going to be a lot of losses and wins that you're not expecting from other teams. But Bengals, Ravens, what I write down? I got the Ravens winning this game. They're traveling too. All right, next Raiders, Broncos. Both are 2-2. I got the Broncos winning. Or no, Raiders winning. I put Raiders winning. All right, next we got Cardinals, Niners. I want Arizona to win. I'm just kind of sick of the 49ers. Like, I really am. Because let's be honest, you put Brock Purdy on any other team, he's not going to look this good. But if you put any of these top 5 quarterbacks on the Niners, they're winning a chip. You put Patrick Mahomes on the Niners, they're winning the chip. And then the Chiefs aren't going to be that good anymore. That's just how that goes. It's a quarterback-driven league. So I pick the Niners to win, unfortunately, but I want the Cardinals to win. And don't be surprised if the Cardinals do win, because let's see their record. Cardinals, they're 1-3. Niners are 2-2. So I mean, if Cardinals win, Niners and Cardinals got the same record, and if the Rams win, same record. And if Seahawks lose, they're only a game ahead of all of them. So it's gonna be a tight year, I think, guys. I think every game means something now. That's why they added the extra game. Because now it really, it's going to come down to the end every single time now. That's how you build suspense, raise money, and keep eyes on the TV. And that's what the NFL is doing. All right, Giants, Seahawks. Wait, is that what I'm doing now? No, Giants are 1-3. Seahawks are 3-1. I wrote down Seahawks to get the W. Yeah, because the Giants are probably trying to lose out to get their quarterback as well, because they can't go another year with Daniel Jones. I don't care what they paid him. They just can't do it. If Daboll is trying to be an NFL coach still and coach the Giants, he's going to be pleading his case. Like, this is not my guy, never was my guy. Please let us lose out so I can get my guy. And if we lose with my guy, then you can send me off. But at least give me 2 years with my guy. Not 1 year on his rookie year where he's figuring shit out. Give me at least a couple of years, 2, 3 years. Let me grow with him. Let me get my system built into him. A lot of guys just don't get that time. It's an impatient league. You hear rumblings, pressure on you, and these owners just get rid of coaches like it's nothing, man. And it just shows you that they know nothing about football because it takes so much time to build a team and build a culture. That's how you know it's fake. You would never just fire or be so quick to fire a coach so quickly. Like when you got a young quarterback or a young team, you would never do that because that just destroys, it cripples the team to do that. We're human, Like that coach is like that father figure that you look up to, and you take that away, you basically destroy and dismantle a team, So yeah, Seahawks. Next, Packers, Rams. Packers are what the hell? Packers are 2-2, and the Rams are 1-3. This is a tricky game because I don't think the Rams are gonna keep losing like this, and the Packers are gonna eventually start winning again. I think, but right now I think the Rams will win this game. Rams will be at home. They gotta win this game. If the Rams lose this game, they're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna be 1-4, and then I'm gonna start talking about Stafford getting traded to a team that can win now. Because Stafford is a top 5 QB. Like he's on the level of Patrick Mahomes, dude. The way this dude can play and throw the football, awareness, ball placement, accuracy. So, like when he throws those terrible picks, it's always on purpose. Like he's probably the most accurate quarterback in the league. Like Matthew Stafford he's like that. He makes no look passes. Like he's literally that good. So there's a reason they traded for him. He's much better than Jared Goff. It's not even close. Like if he had this Lions team, Matthew Stafford, like if Dan Campbell were smart, he would have kept Matthew Stafford and built the team the way he did. They would have won a championship with him. It probably wouldn't have been that first year, but they would have probably won it last year, guys. Or at least contended. But think about it, though. The Lions beat the Chiefs last year in the regular season game, the opener. So if you have Matthew Stafford as your quarterback, you don't think you could beat them in a Super Bowl? Something to think about. Could have got the Lions 2 championships with that guy. I don't know what Dan Campbell was thinking getting rid of him. Like, why would you trade Matthew Stafford? Like, you should have been like, buddy, we're changing the culture. I promise you it's not going to be the way it's been. Come on, brother, I need you to stay. But nope, he shipped him off for Jared Goff. Should have asked yourself, why are the Rams trying to get rid of this guy so bad? A first-round pick. You should have asked yourself those questions. All right, next. We got, but you gotta think though. At that time, they thought that those two players were basically on the same level, and they realized real quickly that Matthew Stafford was the glue keeping the Lions together. Basically, if Matthew Stafford weren't there, the Lions would have been in much worse disarray. Like that's how good that guy is. But anyway, Cowboys Steelers. I got the Steelers winning wait, hold on, let me just see the record real quick. Because Dallas is 2-2. They're fine. They can sacrifice a loss. Steelers are leading their division. That's the only thing though. The Steelers could sacrifice a loss as well. I'm almost thinking the Steelers could lose this and Dallas wins. They're both 3-2. That would make sense, but I could see it go either way. I'm gonna go with my first pick, Steelers winning. All right, lastly is New Orleans, Kansas City, Monday night. I'm going to go with Kansas City. I just don't trust New Orleans to beat Kansas City. If they do win, it's going to be on some scripted, ridiculous, stupid nonsense. But I got to see it before I can pick it. And that's how we're going to leave it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and join me next week.